Player ratings time then for the British and Irish Lions. I'm going to give each player from that third test in Sydney a grade out of 10 and a couple of comments. Look, it will be a miracle if we agree. And it's only an opinion and a bit of fun, so get stuck in and give me your thoughts in the chat down below. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I am currently sat in a hotel room in Sydney Airport. I fly tomorrow morning to Johannesburg for the South African leg of this rugby odyssey, which I am covering, by the way, on my new channel, Egg Chasers IRL. All the travel and all the other stuff around rugby is there. I'll leave a link in the description. But here I'm going to, like I say, appraise and assess the performance of the individuals that ran out onto the pitch for the Lions, who were second best on the night, pretty much to a man. In fact, I'm trying to think of a player. There's a couple of players who got the better of their opposite number last night for the Lions, but not many. It was a poor performance. With it went the opportunity of a 3-0 whitewash and going unbeaten on Australian soil. With it, for Joe Schmidt and his men, came more pride into that green and gold jersey and a springboard going into the Rugby Championship. And a really interesting comment on the video I did yesterday following the game. And apologies, I didn't make a note of your name. But if you're watching this now, you'll know who you are. Because I thought it was such a good point, and I've been thinking about it all day today. And the comment was saying that match in Sydney at the Accor Stadium saved this Lions tour. And look, I will do videos appraising the tour as a whole, but the point I thought was a brilliant one. It was that this game, the third test, saved the Lions tour because it demonstrated Australia are a really good rugby team, number one. And in doing so, that fact that Australia are a genuinely good rugby team justifies that it was a success to win the series as the British and Irish Lions. I just thought that was a really interesting point. It's been going over in my head, so I thought I'd share it here. And just, as I say, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I know I'm very, very fortunate to have some great rugby minds that watch and get stuck in. Yeah, as I say, I'm in Sydney Airport. I'm in my pyjamas. It's 5:30 in the evening. There you go. There's my PJs. It's been biblically bad weather today, like tropical rain. So earliest chance I got, I just got here to my room and I'm ready for the next leg. The weather's been horrendous in Australia. I'm going to come back at the Rugby World Cup, and I've now seen a bit of the country. I've seen the places I want to go and explore more of. I've had a brilliant time. And like I say, more of my travels will be covered on the other channel, Egg Chasers IRL. But without any further ado, let's go. Ratings out of 10. Andrew Porter, I feel a bit harsh, but I've watched the game again. I've got to give him a 4. He got done by Taniela Tupou in this game, who was just on brilliant form. The scrum was creaking. He just wasn't able to get into the game. Look, Andrew Porter is an outstanding rugby player. This was not his night, and that happens from time to time. I think he's an awesome player. Poor game, 4 out of 10. Feel quite harsh saying that. Let me know what you think. Dan Sheehan, a 6. I mean, he always offers himself in those wide channels. Brilliant ball carrier, putting some big defensive shots. Huge engine. The line out went to pot with Ryan and Itoje going off. And it's not all on Dan Sheehan. Of course it's not. It's a unit effort, but Dan Sheehan has to take his share of that. And they weren't able to get any kind of launch pad as the game went on. And yeah, they got dominated at line out time. They got dominated early in scrum time. So set piece wise, it was a poor day at the office for the Lions. And that also, reflects in Tyg Furlong's score, who, I mean, every time he got the chance, he was head down, running hard, couldn't get an edge in the scrum in the way that they've done previously. So 6 out of 10 for him. Into the second row, Maro Itoje I gave a 6. I actually thought he was playing really well when he went off. He was the top tackler at the time. I think he got something like 12 or 13 tackles in 25, 26 minutes, or however long it was before he went off. He was going around taking names, making a menace of himself, and I think the Lions really missed him and the collective physicality between the pair of them. James Ryan as well, he was doing a similar job. He was just hitting rucks, hitting people. But on this particular occasion, even though Itoje and Ryan were doing okay and the line-out was good when they were on, they were up against Nick Frost, Will Skelton, and then Jeremy Williams when he came on. Those guys cleaned up. They absolutely schooled Itoje and Ryan. 6 out of 10 for those two. Tyg Burn, I mean, the guy's just relentless. He's just like I don't know. He's unbreakable, this guy. He just keeps coming back for more punishment, sticks his head in the spokes. He won that line-out steal early. He got the jackal penalty and just kept on going, slotted into second row. Wasn't able to be dominant. Tom Hooper, one of the best players on the pitch, was better than him. So Tyke Byrne, one of the better Lions players, and his opposite number was better than him. Probably says everything. Tom Curry, I gave a 7.5. The work that Tom Curry does off the ball, like after previous games, people have been bringing up, look at Jack Morgan's stats in this game versus Tom Curry's stats. Just watch the game. Just watch the rugby match. Forget about stats for a minute. Just do a player cam on Tom Curry. His work rate is off the charts. When the defensive line is there, he's the Lions player. And when there's a kick put in, he's the Lions player that is always first to the kicker. And then he gets himself back and he's in there making massive defensive shots. He maybe saved a try when he got that maul turnover. He was rattling people with tackles and he covers more ground than basically anyone. I think he was the Lions player of the series. I know Finn Russell got it. I don't know who gave that award away or what the criteria is, who votes for it, whatever the case may be. For me, Tom Curry was the best Lions player across the 3-match series. I thought he was great again and basically took his body to the limit. He's now got to go and have wrist surgery following, for Tom Curry, a very successful Lions tour. And Jack Conan, I'll tell you what, talk about defensive shifts. The last couple of weeks, this guy, he just goes around taking names. He's sort of known for his ball carrying, and that's one of his primary jobs. But defensively, Jack Conan has been absolutely exceptional the last couple of games, and he was again in this game in Sydney, and the Lions needed it. Nevertheless, that battle up against Harry Wilson across the 3 games has been really fun to watch. I gave Jack Conan a 7. Into the backs then. Let me know what you think. Again, miracle if we agree. Jameson Gibson Park, 6. Could have gone lower possibly. I felt like, well, obviously Nick White completely dominated him in this game, and I felt like he could have done with taking a leaf out of Nick White's book and managing the game a bit more himself. I don't know whether it was Finn Russell asking for the ball, wanting the ball, but Jameson Gibson Park might have been better to have put boot to ball a little bit more himself. He added some big defensive interventions as well. Finn Russell, who did take a lot of the responsibility playmaking-wise on his shoulders. Sometimes it came off and it was sublime. The kick to the corner that ended up with the Lions' 5-metre line out because Tom Wright just had to take it into touch was absolutely brilliant. But there were some wayward and strange kicks, and then the option to tap and go when there was an easy 3 points on offer when they were just 8-0 down seems like an error as well. You can't have it all go your own way. Across the 10 games, Finn Russell has been brilliant on this Lions tour. It was not a good day at the office for him on this particular occasion. And you know what? As I keep saying, he's not a maverick, as people like to call him. He's just a properly good rugby player. This was the chance to show that he can do it in terrible conditions. Didn't really take that chance, but then that goes for the Lions overall, doesn't it? Blair Kinghorn shored things up aerially, did some nice things, was involved in the error for the Max Jorgensen try, overran it a little bit, but it was okay. He was okay, Blair Kinghorn. Bundee Aki. Oh, I feel harsh giving a 3 out of 10. A 3 out of 10. But I don't know, what grade would you give? Just everything went wrong. And you know what? There's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on with the selection from Andy Farrell. There's a lot of people saying, the Lions lost this because they didn't rotate players enough. They should have rotated. You can't play the same team or nearly the same team 3 games in a row. I'm sure I buy that. So let me just give you a scenario. Imagine the Wallabies had won in Melbourne. They nearly did. But imagine the Wallabies had managed to hold on and win in Melbourne. And it was 1-1 going into this match. Would people be saying, before the game, you need to change loads of Lions players, you can't play the same team 3 weeks in a row? I think had it been 1-1, and Andy Farrell changed loads of players, and the Lions lost, people would have been saying he shouldn't have changed a winning team. So I guess the point I'm making is, making an argument after the fact that's kind of convenient, I'm not sure I buy it. In wet, terrible conditions, I'd pick Bundee Aki over Sione Tuipulotu, because you'd think the hard direct runs of Bundee Aki getting you over the gain line will be precious in this situation, whereas the distribution skills of Sione Tuipulotu maybe not quite so valuable. As it turned out, Bundee Aki just had a mare. He's a brilliant player. He's just had a really bad game. It happens. Hugh Jones couldn't really get himself into the game. Lenny Kitao and Joseph Suali'i did a number on the Lions centres. Again, a 6 out of 10. Not really a massive reflection on Hugh Jones because the conditions meant the ball was never going to really get into the wide channels. Same goes for Tommy Freeman. Did a manful job. Actually had some of the brighter elements of the Lions' performance, but yeah, tough day at the office, particularly when you're up against an inspired pair of Wallaby wingers. Dylan Peach was just amazing. And Max Jorgensen is, I mean, as I described him on the video yesterday, one of the best young players in world rugby. And Hugo Keenan to round off the 15, 7 out of 10. In really awful conditions. I mean, he was relatively rock solid on the whole. 7 out of 10. And then the bench, let me rattle through these ones. Ronan Keating, 5 out of 10. The line-out was a complete mess. He got a yellow card. Ellis Genge, one of the best players for the Lions, came on and shored up the scrum, ran hard like he always did. It's easy to say Genge should have been starting, but maybe he should have been starting. But as I say, Monday morning quarterbacking stuff, he was great when he came on. Will Stewart got himself a consolation try at the end, did well, scrum shored up, he was good. Ollie Chesham, line-out was an absolute mess, but he did loads of good stuff around the park. 5. Jack Morgan, 7. Loads of energy, loads of carries, loads of tackles. The energy that he and Ben Earl brought I thought was excellent. Ben Earl with some really good breaks, added a little bit of fizz and energy and sharpness, desperation to the Lions' performance. So I've given him a 7 as well. Alex Mitchell didn't get a lot of time, so fine, a 6. And Owen Farrell found life tough. I actually thought when he came on, do you know what? Really bad conditions, having another boot, another kind of player with great vision and tactical nous might actually work well for the Lions. It didn't. It was a tough day at the office, but he was. It was just a shame that it was a reshuffle that Andy Farrell would have been prepared for, but wouldn't have wanted to have done. To have had Owen Farrell at 12 and Bundee Aki at 13 with Hugh Jones on the wing. It was a reshuffle that you'd prefer to avoid, but there you go. That's my thoughts on the 23. I'd love to know yours. As I say, I'll be back doing some more videos, kind of looking at the bigger picture on the tour overall. But again, what do you think of that point that I said the commenter made yesterday, that the win for the Wallabies saved the tour because it demonstrated that winning the series was actually a significant thing to have done? Or are you of the opinion that, well, there's been a lot of people with a lot of negativity around this tour, so I just quite liked and appreciated a glass half full look at things. Let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next one.